I'm Bambi Francisco with this segment of Lessons for Entrepreneurs, and I'm speaking with Jeff Smith. He's the CEO and co-founder of Smule, which is a maker of popular iPhone apps. Jeff has also been founded Tumbleweed, took that company public, and founded Envoy, and also sold that company to Novell. So you've had multiple exits, successful exits. Jeff, you're a pretty successful entrepreneur. Thank you for joining us, and give us 3 pieces of advice for the entrepreneurs watching.
Bambi, thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed watching Vader take off over the past year, and it's fun to be a part of that, small part. I don't have any profound advice. I would say some of the lessons I've learned in my career are number one, kind of team and culture are everything. It's going to come down to the set of people that you've recruited to join you, that buy into your vision, and to unleashing their talent. Great teams build great companies and scale. And what I'm trying to do at Smule is just that. And we've been fortunate this far with a set of folks that have joined with us. I'd say number 2, it's all about proximity to the customer. Too often as technologists, we see a great idea and we spend a lot of time building that and implementing that, but yet by the time we finally put it into a customer's hands, it's this rude awakening, and then we say, you know what, customer didn't want it. Now what? And I've experienced that firsthand. It ain't pretty. And so the challenge is, how do you put something out there in the customer's hands early that's somewhat valuable as you continue to build out your platform or whatever else you're building? But I think that's the way I would approach building a company, because again, the lesson learned with one of my past companies is...
Which one?
Tumbleweed. Was, we had a great vision. We had some great people. We spent 2 years building this thing. By the time we started selling it, nobody wanted to buy it. And so then the next 2 years were, okay, how are we going to morph this value proposition and to some extent this company into something that's actually compelling for a customer? And that ended up being, a long-term exercise in building the company. With Smule, by contrast, it's like we're going to put product in the customer's hands in 3 months. And moreover, we're going to put an analytics engine under the hood, and so we're going to measure every little thing that our customers are doing with our products from the start, so that we can understand where the value proposition is. We can begin to model out behavior, which we've done, and then we can begin to model out demographic, and so we can start segmenting customers and figure out what's the right marketing message, what's the right product strategy. So I'd say, it's about proximity to customer, and it's not just you, the CEO, it's your entire company. What can you do in terms of your compensation or your systems or your processes, so that there is literally zero distance between the line of code you're writing and the customer who ultimately is going to be using that line of code. And I think the third thing I might say is that slow and steady wins the race. I think you've seen those companies that have grown like gangbusters and have done some amazing things, and there's some exceptional companies that have done that. But yet, there's so much kind of frenetic energy that's involved in startups, and so often it goes in all of these various directions, and kind of what does it yield? And if instead you kind of take a step back and say, okay, what really is the goal, and how are we going to kind of focus on that goal and chip away at that goal, day after day, month after month, and get away from the more frenetic model, the faster-paced model, you make, I think, remarkable progress in a much shorter period of time, ironically. So team, proximity to customer, and this notion of being willing to kind of put a stake in the ground and focus on something, even though it doesn't seem like you're throwing the same amount of time or energy or pace against that objective.
Great. I disagree with all of your advice.
That's fine.
I'm kidding. You'd have to watch our past interviews. Jeff, thanks a lot. I mean, that was actually excellent advice. So thanks for sharing. I've been speaking with Jeff Smith. He's the co-founder and CEO of Smule. I'm Bambi Francisco.